Okay, folks. T-34 Thursday. I know it should have been on Tuesday, but shit happens. Well, let's clean it up. Only to have the stuff on my table that's well, it came off easy. Hand sanitizer, the miracle drug. Use drugs, only miracle drugs. I won't need this if we got the contacts out, which we do. All right. Jesus. These are the two model 1940 T-34s that are actually sealed. And they're extremely minimalist. They just don't have the casting just is not very good. But they painted up okay. But just very, very basic. Hinchcliffe Skytrex. So these two are complete, and the T-34-45 is not. Thank you, Mr. Motorcycle Man. The T-34-45 is not sealed. So it'll look a slightly bit better when it's sealed. These actually had a fair bit of shine, so they've got like 2 coats of the Vallejo clear coat. So we're going to set these guys off to the side here. Hopefully they're not in the way. And we're going to go work on our other T-34 candidates. Some of this stuff here is encroaching on my land. Okay, this is the command one, or the one that's going to have the commander present. And then one of these has the hatch that came off. So we probably should glue that on there. Let's bring the other 5 over here. One of them is a flamethrower one. I was talking about making that one with snow camo. I don't know that I'm going to do that. I did kind of a quick practice on the snow, and I think it's got potential, but I think I'm going to have to put my own spin on it. I'm not really good at following directions. I don't need to follow. Oh, this thing broke off. I don't need to follow a lot of these directions for a lot of this stuff. You know, it's not like this is life-threatening or anything. Yeah, this is the T-34-85. This is the T-34, the O T-34-85. And the headlamp broke off. Okay, well, we use super glue, which is why it broke off. A lot of you guys swear by super glue, but I haven't had a great experience using it. So let's use it again. We've got one fuel tank back there and nothing else. We don't have any kind of baggage on this one. You don't want the baggage to catch fire. Right, set that one off to the side. That has all of the things it needs to have on it. And by that I mean, you know, packs and the machine gun, the things that are missing from these castings. The things that got lost by the previous owner. I'm missing a turret. Right? Because I need to go ahead and cast some of these things as well. I only have a few more to make. I'm definitely missing the turret. Let's hear something. There it is. Told ya. Okay, so this is the one that has half of a hatch on here. Now we're going to go ahead and glue that in place. I'm going to squeeze some of this in here. And then we will apply it with something that is easier to get in where it needs to go. Well, I just figured I'd mention, I don't know how many of you guys are on here watching. I can't tell, maybe one or two. It will not be a Saturday morning show. So those of you that plan your entire life around that, make other plans this Saturday. So we're going to go and try to, well, I don't think I have all of these done, but many of these things that I needed to remake using green stuff. So this one has the hatch, but none of this stuff on here. Okay, so these three are together. We only have one of these that has the turret hatch open because I have two other ones already. So that means out of the 8 T-34s, 3 of them will have a potential commander figure. Not that it means anything, it's just something for atmosphere. All right, so let's see these things that we have made. Those two are kind of in their own category. We need the stuff for 3 because these guys already have the tow hooks and all that stuff on there. So let's go ahead and pull these things out of the casting and see what we got. And I'm not doing the tow hooks at the back. I'm lazy. Nobody's gonna see them. Okay, that's a machine gun. And that's a machine gun. So we just need one more machine gun to make. And here's more tow hooks. So if I make another one of these, a flamethrower, then I don't need any more machine guns. Yeah, we'll cast just one. We'll cast one up. Well, I decided to do this at the beginning of my evening so I don't have the issue that happened yesterday or the day before. It might have been yesterday. I was just too tired to go on. This is Flash, so to speak. Hey Kevin, what's happening, man? Long time no see. Actually, I've never seen you, but that's, you know what I mean. Yeah, so we just need to make another machine gun for one of these and we're good to go. Okay, take this flash and get it out of here. Okay. So, tell me, I want to do this one that's damaged. Soon. Missing a fender. Oh, too much. Yeah, it's just amazing how long this stuff takes to do. So just do yourself a favor and don't plan on running any games with stuff that hasn't been completed yet, or you're going to add a lot of stress to yourself. I mean, unless that's what you like. I can tell you that I don't like that. Still up a little bit? No? So, I reached out to somebody a couple days ago. Somebody that's gonna hopefully have some really cool stuff, and a 3D printer, and that I haven't used before, and we'll see how that goes. We'll see how that goes. Prices seem to be okay on it, so. Shipping's only like $9 instead of, 30 or whatever they want across the pond. Did you game any at the con? I played one game. I was scheduled to play 2 games on Saturday. One in the morning session, and I didn't get there until 30 minutes after the afternoon session started. That's what I had signed up to play, and they actually didn't have any sign-ups for anybody. Like, the stuff that I pre-registered for didn't show up. It wasn't a big deal, because the game on Saturday morning, I was able to write my name down and play. I was the 8th player, but there was only 5 of us. And I played a game by this guy that's one of our vendors called Stan Johansson. He's been around a while, and he does this Car Wars type game called Death Race. And he provides everything. I just show up to roll dice and teach people how to drive. And then that's it. I shopped, talked to a lot of people, a lot of different people, and new people, put it that way, and had a good time, and had no expectations about what I needed to do or needed to pick up, or I didn't care how many people did or didn't show up for a tournament. I wasn't involved in it. That's somebody else's problem. So I got too much of a workload to be worrying about that stuff. Let the retired people do that. Like I've said, I don't plan on running any games at a convention ever again. It's just too much hassle. If somebody says, well, in order to attend the convention, you need to run a game, I'd be like, well, I guess I won't attend conventions anymore. I don't need to game that badly. I hadn't gamed since April, face to face with somebody, and I didn't miss it. And I didn't have a bad experience in April. I just don't miss it. Didn't miss it. Okay, here's one tow hook. Two. Three. So I look on the Facebook page or whatever, and Mitch has made all these posts. He'd never made posts before, because I was doing all the posts. I would have been pissed to do all that stuff in advance, and then some storm comes and nobody shows up. Well, they had 5-7 players, as always, in their thing. But I don't care. I go there to hang out with people. Do you ever run into people that know you from the internet? I think I've only ran into one person ever. I don't care if they, I'm not searching for fame, and I'm not a groupie myself. I don't want to go meet famous people. The most famous person I've ever met, other than Phil Barker, is this guy that I ran into at a car show who does car reviews, and I'm a big fan of his. He does an excellent job. I guess he's kind of famous. He has multiple millions or so, subscribers. I'm pretty sure he does that for a living. And I got to talk to him for about 5 minutes, but everybody was getting his attention. Everybody that was there knew who he was. So, but what I really liked about that guy is he seemed to act exactly the same in person as he does on his video. And I personally value that a lot. Be consistent. When I got the Little Wars guys, we went to Historicon at one time and I filmed the Little Wars guys. A couple of them did not like being filmed by somebody else. So, I don't know what that means, but it could mean that maybe they thought I was up to something nefarious. I could show them in a bad light. Well, they don't know me. I don't do stuff like that, Or maybe they didn't want people to see how they were when they weren't on, which is not as scripted or whatever. I'm not a fan of scripted stuff. I don't like seeing things that are overly scripted. I don't like doing things that are overly scripted. I do it because I'm lazy, right? So, I can't be, anal retentive about everything. You know, I'm anal retentive about painting the little things. And man, how do you spend 6 hours on a figure? I said because I don't spend, you know, a bunch of time editing planning how my video is going to be. Well, it's not very professional. Well, I'm not a professional video guy. I'm not. I mean, this is what I do. I do this, and I don't mind sharing the little tricks and stuff, but you know, I don't want, just because you have ADD, I'm not going to make I got to make my painting video really short and create even more work for myself just because somebody can't spend more than 10 seconds on it. Well, sounds like you got a problem. You're not going to learn a skill. You'll never make it in the workplace. But no, to answer your question, I've only encountered one person who knew who I was, or two maybe, but you know, that's cool. You know, like I said, I do this pretty much. I do it for me. I do it so I can stay on track. The fact that anybody else is interested in or finds anything entertaining that I could possibly say is just an extra bonus. You know, I'm not one of those guys that, you know, how to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Here's it. And every week they've got a new similar type of algorithm video. It's just like exhausting. I mean, that's what you like. I mean, YouTube is a means to get this that I do out to you guys, not the other way around. I'm not a YouTube star. You know, I'm just, this is just a platform that allows me to share this with you guys. And I hope that if I encounter anybody else, the first thing they tell me is, hey, you're just in real life the same way you are in video. I said, yeah, it's too difficult to pretend to be somebody you're not. But I personally value that a lot. I personally value somebody who's acts the same if they're around their wife or not. You know, if they're filmed, if they're, you know, I don't like salesy stuff. Like there's a lot of products I really like, but nobody's paying me to say that. And when their QC goes down, I'm calling them on it. Like, hey, this used to be a great product, but these assholes now, you know, took a corner. Now they make a shoddy thing. Look out, you know. I don't want somebody, oh, you can't say that. What do you mean you can't say that? With all the stuff that people say these days, I can't tell you the truth? No. Which version of the truth do you like? But I'm not, I know people that are groupies. I'm not a groupie. But you know, I do this stuff because I enjoy doing it. If I stop enjoying doing it, I'm not going to do it anymore. That's why I stopped playing DVA. I just wasn't enjoying it anymore. That's probably not true. I did enjoy doing it. I didn't enjoy doing all that work, and then people didn't even have the decency to show up. Not everybody. There were some loyal people. But in order to make it grow, some people are just too fucking lazy, you know? Go run it. And sure enough, they made a big stink about Art de la Guerre. They ran it one time at one convention, that's it. They run it again. They made something about, you know, there's a group in Savannah that organized it. Well, you were in Orlando, man. Why can't somebody in Florida organize that stuff? People just too lazy to step up. Well, I guess your system's gonna die or not be popular. I don't care. All right, we need one machine gun we gotta make. Once heard in the chat, can't recall where, but a dude said you were the best to watch for DBA. That was a while ago. Well, there aren't that many DBA videos. And I like talking out loud about what I'm thinking. There's no point in like, well, I better not say anything because then my opponent will know. I don't care if I win or lose. I enjoy talking about, what my options are and what I can do. And I like the sound of my own voice. It helps me think, But I'm not really competing against a lot of people. I don't know if there's anybody. There is one guy that posted on one of the pages that he was doing DVA videos, but it was just like photos that he linked together. Right. So, I'm not going to make any more tote hooks. So I need we do need more headlamps. Guess I'm one short. Alright, so I need to make 2 headlamps. Alright, let's, we're going to need this. We want to roll that on here. We'll bring pieces of cardboard up with it. What's up, Angel Moreno? Welcome, man. I don't know what I'm going to do when I run out of this stuff. I guess I'll just have to use the stinky stuff that I do not like. I do not like that other brand, Benetite or whatever it is. It's like 4 times more quantity and like half the cost, but it smells funny. And by funny, I mean peculiar. This is probably too much, but I can't be frugal about everything. Did Mitch go to the con? He did. He did, and he did DVA stuff the whole time. I didn't even room with him this time, because he was gonna show up on Thursday, which is technically the day before the con starts, and he was gonna room with Joel. I'm like, okay, well. So what I was planning on doing is I was gonna make it a family weekend. We were gonna stay off-site at a resort, and I was gonna game or hang out Monday mornings and afternoons, and then in the evenings I'd go back to the hotel and use the facilities there. Is that a lazy river and all that kind of stuff. But the storm kind of threw everything up for a loop because it threw in variables. So the daughter ended up having to evacuate from her college. I mean, nothing happened to her college, but they forced her to evacuate, and we didn't want her coming here because, the storm was coming this way. So she ended up going and staying the weekend with half the weekend and the weekend with the grandmother in Miami. And then I was planning on being there on Friday. I had the day off Friday. I took the day off Friday, and planning on leaving like at 6 in the morning or 5 in the morning, 5:30, something like that, to get down there like at 8 o'clock. And I wasn't able to leave here till 12:30. I had a lot of limbs and stuff to clean up. So I had a late start to the games, but I really didn't. I was just playing stuff just to play stuff, The problem with playing other games is you run the risk of getting stuck in a game for 4 hours with people that are not any fun, or cheaters, or just have a bad attitude. It can happen. It's usually the most common thing to play is people that aren't any fun. There's a lot of folks that just aren't very dynamic when they play games. I'm pretty dynamic, Get excited about stuff that's exciting to get over, Get excited about things that's worthy of getting excited over. A lot of people are just nerd burglars, and they just kind of putz around, and they're not, they don't have a whole lot of fun. There's a certain game that I kind of like, but I don't want to play it at the convention because the people that play it are like, one step away from the grave. Seems like they're in mourning. Like, man, you guys aren't any fun, man. And it's not about not taking the game seriously. I take the game seriously, but sometimes funny shit happens, man, and you need to laugh about that. And sometimes that funny shit happens to you, and it's not good news. Just laugh it up. Not like it's the end of the world. But yes, he went. My only interaction with him was we went to dinner one night. I went with him and several other DVA people, which I already know them, and it's not like I stop people from playing DVA. You guys want to continue playing it, go right ahead, but you're going to have to do all the work. And I had dinner with him one night. That was it. Just remember, when I was hanging out with him all the time, I was basically ignoring everybody else. So, I don't give them any bad time. I don't give them a. What is that we need? Oh, we need to cast 2 of the headlamps. Yeah, that's a problem. The headlamp you need to leave in. I could possibly cast one of these and then pull it back out, but. Yeah, I can't pull that out. So we'll just have to cast another one. So, let's see, I don't need any more tow hooks. But I have no spares, so if something happens, we'll go ahead and put one of these in. Yeah, I've encountered 2 people at Historicon, basically. Because, the people at the local convention, know me. So, that doesn't really count, but. Okay. All the local people think they can convince me to play DVA again. Oh, come on, you can come back to it. I guess people aren't used to people's word. Like when I say I am not going to do something, I am not going to fucking do something. I'm not going to. I don't force people to do shit. Get off my ass. Haven't I done enough? Other people do anything and you want me to do more. Oh. And I'm going to do even less. No. Somebody else can fight that battle and deal with the naysayers and people that bring up questions. Oh, I think this is like this. Haven't you seen our videos? Yeah, I think you guys are doing it wrong. Like, all you did is fucking play the rules once, dude. I mean, yeah, we get stuff wrong, but we also played thousands of games. I don't want to deal with those people anymore. See, here I don't have that problem. You don't like my interpretation of the rules, you don't get invited to come here. It's that simple. I ain't got to deal with your ass. Okay. So we've got this one raring to go, and this one raring to go. One of these is a Flammenwerfer one. This one, we're not going to do that one because I still have hope that I can do some kind of a mild snow camo, less than that. I don't know what I'm going to do with that martyr. I bet it'll actually look okay. If I put, I was bummed out kind of doing this T-34 until I really just paid attention to just it. And doing lots of things at once, it doesn't really work well for me. It never has. I get pulled in too many different directions and I just, it's not worth it. So let's paint, we can do the Commander's one next. That's fine. Let's get this here. And we're going to grab, this is it, 4BO Russian Green. Which I could use a different green. I could use the one that I did a lot on my T-34s in. That's not it. That's an American color. Also not it. We're gonna stick with this. I'm gonna stick with this color. It's really, really watery, but it is what it is. Let's flip this thing over. Just going to, this has a strong tone wash on it from Army Painter. And we're just going to dry brush the same base color over that. And ever since I stopped doing DVA stuff, the scores of the events haven't been posted anywhere. So, I mean, I was doing a lot of stuff and it still wasn't drumming up the amount of interest that it should have. So that's why, it's better that I just walk away. It's keeping me from doing other things, and it's just not going to appeal to some people. I get it. DVA is a weird game. It's not going to appeal to some people. Just like you could tell me bolt action is the greatest thing since sliced cheese, I'm not playing it. It's not for me. It's way too generic-y. I want my World War II stuff to be very specific. I don't mind if my ancients are generic-y. Never liked the DVA rules. Just seeing that's what was used for ancients, which I like. I always thought WRG was better. Well, WRG is DVA, isn't it? I don't like that wording, man. I don't like the way that they're written, like in sentence form. And then it's a tournament, so you can't change. You can't change how they're played, even though everybody agrees that the rules are incorrect or nobody plays them that way. You're stuck with it, so you have to continue having these arguments that never have an end. And then some people just want to argue. Mind you, none of this is in person. It's just online. And you can just say, well, you don't have to go online. I said, well, you're never going to make the game grow then. Nobody's going to know about this game. So, that's all good. I can make this whatever the hell I want it to be. And I just can't deal with all those problems and nobody showing up and doing all the heavy lifting and my workload. Like, it's too much. I mean, the day after the con, man, I was like scrambling to put all the scores up and the pictures and put this, and somebody would complain that it wasn't on one site, you know. Well, you need to do some heavy lift. You need to do some lifting, dude. I just can't spoon feed everybody. I eventually got tired. That's what happened in Ohio. There was a guy that was running all the stuff in Ohio. Of course, he was a bit of a sadist. He was supplying all the prizes and stuff too, and not playing. No. That's a no. I'm not going to just run shit and not play the game. Well, then why even get involved in it? Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of dark sand to this. This one? No, that's buff. That's its cousin. There it is. I don't like going to con and having to put things on. You're rushed. You're forced to finish the game before you want to finish it. You got to set everything up. You got to take everything down. And if you don't hurry, you miss the next session, or you don't get a chance to go to lunch or dinner, or, you know. Hey, Marcus. I think you're always going to run into people that have their own interpretation rule. Well, the problem is there's a lot of people out there that heart's not in the right place. You know, they want to make these guys a certain way because they think that they're, you know, this, that, or the other. They're just not consistent. And there's a lot of people that way. A lot of people that way. And I'll be honest with you, I did not encounter any issues as much as I played DBA with people being okay, most of the time being bad sports and stuff. You know, it was pretty, and I think it's just the nature of everybody's rolling the same amount of dice, but most people are right. I don't know. I think I did a count one time. I played like almost 200 different people or something like that, and only 3 of them I don't want to play again. One guy takes too long. One guy's inconsistent. He wants to call you, and he's always in a bad mood. And another guy is very shifty with his cheating. And I don't have time for that. I don't want to be disrespected that way. So, he can cheat with somebody else now. Don't pay me enough to deal with that nonsense. Okay. Do we have a second one that's ready to go? Well, we got to paint this one black. Those little things. It's actually a really attractive vehicle, I think. I just wish the markings were a little bit better. That's why I decided to do the Berlin stripe on that one. I think the con should be for meeting people and experiencing new things. I did that. I think it should be for whatever you want it to be, but, you know. People aren't used to, like, people saying something and meaning it. But I kind of regret getting some of the stuff that I did at the con. I got a good deal on them, but some of it is just crappy. It's not the guy's fault that sold them. We're not talking about the damaged shit either. I'm talking about the stuff that's... The BP cast is just... It's like third or fourth tier shit. It's just got too many little bubbles. And I don't want to spend 6 hours trying to fix it. I'd rather just throw it away, which I'm not going to do, so... So Marcus, just so you know, Saturday, there's no Saturday morning show. I'll be out of town. I expect there to be one Sunday, but not Saturday. Australian Army Museum is working on a Stug. Well, yeah, you can't have too many of those, can you? I think I got 4. 3. I have 3. 2 Stug 3s and a Stug 4. Oh, and an early one, too. I got an E. So I guess I do have 4. Dang it, weekend. Mornings are the easiest for me. Yeah. I got to go to a yearly car show in Daytona, so. No, I'm not going to be in it. But I go every year, or I've gone every year. I've gone every year since I've driven this type of this brand of rice burner. You'll be painting Japanese. Oh man. As much as I want to do that, and I do want to do that, I need to kind of shore up some of the stuff I got started. I'm starting to feel the reins of getting pulled in too many directions. Luckily, I don't have the reins of, you need to get this done by a certain time. I don't have that. But I don't know how long it's going to be. Let's say 2 weeks. In about 2 weeks, I should have an unboxing. It's going to be, you're probably going to find really interesting. Let's just leave it at that. You're going to find it really, really interesting. I've got high hopes for this one. And I told this person, you know, I got a YouTube channel. I like doing that. So it's like, I'm going to do an unboxing. Like, don't send me shit or it's going to show up on the YouTube channel and going to make you look like a piece of crap. Don't send me second tier shit. So this particular 3D printer, I found out about him through a guy that does 3D designs, but he doesn't print any himself. And he says, hey, contact these people. They're licensed people for my work. So I'm like, cool. And I found this guy, and he's in the United States. And I'm like, holy shit. And he does print in resin. And I've been going back and forth, and he has access to that particular, we'll call it designer. So instead of saying sculptor, we'll say designer stuff, plus about 5 other ones that are all top tier things. And he does not normally print in 20 mil, but he said he would scale down. And so I ordered a couple of an example or a couple of examples from like 4 different designers to see, you know, what I like or what I don't like. If they look like they're supposed to be, including an M10. Yes, I got an M10 coming. So that is about $12. So that's a lot better than buying the UM ones for 26 plus shipping. What I think the next face of battle game will be the Pak-40 versus the British tanks. I've just been really tired. I mean, I feel good about running the game because I think it went pretty well, but I'm not ready to set up another battle yet. So that's probably what I'm going to do. Spoiler, been on the M10 hunt for a while. Man, there aren't any out there. I'm telling you, it's a problem. You know, you got to either order one from the UK, and the shipping's like $20. And as much as I want to like the Esquisse miniatures, I think their dimensions are condensed a little bit. I think they're heroic-y in a way. Like the M10s are narrower than they're supposed to be. I just think they're going to look funky. So we'll see. And the only reason I'm looking for an M10 is the damn scenario that came across. It needs 4 of them. But you want to know what I ordered? I'll spill the beans. I won't tell you who it's from. I can tell you what I ordered. A little bit of everything, including a new nation. What the what? So hopefully it goes well, build up a good relationship with this guy. Just to stick around and print things for me. I don't need you to, I don't want you giving me shit for free. That's not my angle. My angle is, dude, just supply me, damn it. Spit it, dude. I knew you wouldn't be able to resist. You wouldn't be able to resist. Well, I think all of this stuff, with the exception of one item, 2 items, are things I don't have by somebody else. So like they look significantly different. We used to do that with ships. We used to do the 1/2400 scale ships. You buy like a GHQ model, you don't want to buy another model like of the same class by somebody else. It doesn't have the same amount of detail. All right. If this doesn't come in, according to this, it's your fault, because I told you, just so you know. I hope you understand the responsibility that comes with that. Let me see if I can find it here. You know me, I don't like to keep shit to myself. Oh, I got a great website that I also found too, but that's a different thing. Okay, let me go to, man, it's so difficult to find old emails because they're one on top of each other. Okay, now show me that email. All right. So I have a scenario for the desert that I need more A13s. And that A13 that I got from China is beautiful, but it's very delicate and it's kind of expensive buying a whole bunch of them. So an A13, British A13, Mark II. US M10 tank destroyer. Soviet T-60 light tank. All of these, only one of each. German Panzerjäger 1 for Russia. No, the 47 millimeter Czech gun on the Panzer 1 chassis. My favorite tank, or one of my favorite looking tanks. That's impossible to find. A reasonably priced one with the turrets that hatches that open. BT-7 with a conical turret. Two more things. Queen of the Battlefield, Matilda II. And an M1139, Italian. Yep, Italy, of course. So I've got scenario books that involve those things. I don't want to get if I want 4 Matildas, I don't want to get all 4 Matildas and realize, oh, I don't like that version of it. So, yeah. All over the place. If it looks like the examples that are on there, I'm gonna be very happy. I just hope it's durable. To a certain degree. Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's a risk. I took a risk with the bricks. The bricks paid off magnificently. Okay, tow hooks over here. I see green stuff. Green stuff must be fixed. So yeah, if the M10 looks good, I won't even paint it. I'll order the accoutrement pack and get 3 more M10s and then do all 4 of them in Gypsy Caravan. Yeah, well, I got a whole scenario book on the Italian stuff. And the M1139s are really a piece of shit, but they're in a lot of the scenarios. But a lot of stuff, even with the plastic kits, don't work. Like, let's say you want to get a Crusader 2. A Crusader 1 or a Crusader 2. The ones from S model are great, but the hatches don't open. So, and here's the idea of the hatches being open. If I have 5 of a vehicle, I'd like 1 to have the hatch open. They don't all have to have the hatch open. I don't want to do that. I just want, if you have multiple vehicles, to have very few, a small percentage, like a fifth of them, to have a dude popping out of them. So you can see, it just gives you something to look at, BT-7 was a design the U.S. turned down. Yep. They didn't like the Christie. I think it's a good looking tank. It's probably a piece of shit, but I don't care. It's attractive. It's an attractive piece of shit. See, you can polish a turd. So hopefully it turns out well, because we got lots of stuff for him to do, if that's the case. So. And they make some pretty decent looking Italian figures in plastic. At least they look good on. I just wish they were easier to clean the flash off. I wish you could scrape the flash lines. That's really the only problem with the plastic. Because the Russian tankers I have look pretty darn good. Look really good, actually. Okay, so this one has to wait on the machine gun being cast. This is the flamethrower one. We'll wait on that one. And this is the one that we started doing what we did with it. Okay, cool. So we can give these guys the green treatment also. Does he have a website? He does. But wait till the stuff comes in. That's the deal you got to make with me. I don't want to steal the. I'll give you all the scoop on it. I get to be the guinea pig and find out if it's junk or not. I'll tell you what. I'll send you a message on Facebook to a link to his site. You can see all the stuff that he has access to. You know, I don't want to contact somebody who does 3D printing but isn't familiar with something. There's just too many things for the loopholes to follow, you know. And you know, honestly, if it wasn't for the 3D printing stuff, I actually wouldn't mind doing all the working with the CAD stuff, because I mean, I know how to do that stuff, or I used to know how to do that stuff. I have the mentality for it, but you know, like I've said, you've got to sub some stuff out. You're spent for a while, okay. Yeah, the Battle Valor, nothing looks as good as those Battle Valor figures. I mean, there's, I stand by that. There's no figures out there that look better than those, in my opinion. Favorite sculptor ever. It's not even close. Number 2 is not even close. I told you the stuff was good. I got good taste. my buddy that I used to, my original Mitch, when we were doing this stuff together, he did not like combat miniatures, but he liked FAA, and FAA is just fucking trash. I'm sorry, their faces are just trash. Not a fan. But hey, you know, you can have a different opinion than mine. You're not going to convert me. If you got bad ideas, you're not going to convert me. You know, I'm going down the way that I said I wasn't going to. And that's working on a different one. No, we're working on the Commander's one. So what do we got to do next? Well, we got to find a Commander's tank. We got to find a Commander's tank. So I've saved, I don't know where I saved this on, probably Pinterest. Sometimes I gotta find a use for some of these things. And Pinterest is one of them. And let's see, do I have one here that is KV tanks, T-34 Model 42s, Model 1940. Huns, well, we don't need that. We're done painting Huns. Maybe I saved them under the photos. That's what it was. It's probably under downloads, right? Not there. Oh, this is a cool photo. You might like this. Oh, look at this photo. I think this is a painting. Or is it a diorama? I don't know what it is. This is freaking amazing. I know it's got those Nazi bastards in it. That's really pretty cool. But that's not the painting I was looking at. Was thinking of showing you. It is. This one that has Russians in it. Found my T-34s. I was looking for. And just like that, it disappeared. All right, let's go to. Fuck it. I guess I won't show it to you. This is a Battle of Berlin one. Ooh, I like this 313. That looks pretty good. Let's see, we got it on the rear. I'll do that one. It's a shame that I can't go like hog wild. Well, I could, but I don't want to do that. That just undoes everything. And here's the star decal, Red Army T-34 85s. I got the other two I have this, whatever this guards division. It has this like arrow above the number. I have those. I have the other two. Here we go. What is this? This is the 183. Okay, this is 183 came from this. Yeah, it actually comes from that actual photo. So they made the decal set from the photo, and I painted off the decal set. And I'd like to say that my white stripe is a lot neater looking than those drunken commies. Okay, I think I'm going to do this one with that that one number I was telling you about. You want to see the Panzerjäger? Why I'm getting it? Look at this. If this thing looks anything like this, that's going to be a wet dream. So we'll see. We'll put his ass to work, man. If he steps up, I can make that shit shine. Turd polishing. Okay, where was that T-34 that I took a picture? I should have taken a picture of it. Damn it, was it on Pinterest? T-34. 85 images. I don't know if this is post-war or not, but it looks good with the yellow numbers too. Because that's what we got to do next, right? Yeah, because we got to do weathering and shit. So we got whatever markings we're going to put on this thing. Well, here's one that has a 36 on it. Siopub. It's got some writing and a number and a stripe. I think that's a good candidate right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of this. I'm going to take a screenshot of it on the phone so I can find this stuff easy. And that's what we're going to do. That's the one that we're going to paint. Okay. So, let's get some, how we do, actually, let me check with the wife on one thing. Be right back. This interesting time campfire, they're not as good as yours. That video's due for an update, but I'm glad you found it useful. What's up? What's up, my panzerness? Commie Panzer is here. I like when you're watching some kind of documentary. It says, well, the Germans have Panzer tanks. Like, okay. Oh, we're not ready to do that. What are we talking about? Well, yeah, we could do the numbering. We could do the numbering. We got to do the wheels and the tracks and stuff like that. Got so excited about doing the numbering. Let's do the numbering. All right, let's get Mr. Black out here. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna do the white because I like tracing, kind of tracing everything in a light gray to begin with, and I'm old school. I like to mix all my colors. I don't know why. Just me being old school. I've stopped using the flow aid. It's like breaks down the pigment a little too much. I was getting a little too reliant on that. Okay, so the first thing is we're going to put a 36 right smack in the middle of the turret. So let's go to this side, make sure we get it in the right place. And it looks like it overlaps part of this. You know what? Let's get Mr. Helping Hands out here. 'Cause I forget I have this thing, and this thing is amazing. And I already had to pay for it, so I might as well use it. Helping Hands. All right, let's give myself a height advantage. We're going to do the 3 and the 6. It's right smack in the middle of the turret, and the 6 does not go over whatever that little plug is. I don't think that's a pistol port. It is some kind of a plug. elongated looking. Those funky numbers. And the 3s are rather circular here. And the Russian numbers usually like to either curl up or curl down, or both. Now you're not going to be able to see what it is. Let me see if I can take a photograph. You can see a little bit closer. Okay, this is kind of a rough draft. Okay, we're going to do the same thing on the other side to make sure we got the spirit of it correctly. Except this way we're going to reverse it. The important thing is that you get it positioned where you want it to be. And that's one thing I learned from doing heraldry. You can draw the most beautiful eagle, but if it's not where you want it to be on that shield, you're screwed yourself. So it's important to, like, you know, cut it back down to basic shapes. Like, okay, I want the head to be here. This, you know, just kind of like sketching, so to speak. All right, so the 3 is going to be on this side. Looks like a similar 3. Yeah. It's painted by an alcoholic anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Hand painting markings? Yeah, man, it's therapy. My work is so challenging, this is a piece of cake. Yeah, this is... I don't mind using decals, but hell, this is something that, well, some people, I guess, are afraid to do, so I don't want another long 6 here. All right, and then of course we got the white stripe that goes through there, which we'll need to get that white stripe in there before we go and write whatever this is. Siop. Whatever the heck is written on here. Siopobob. Siopobob. Okay? And it doesn't have to be exactly like this. This is just kind of an inspiration. So let's start filling in 3s. All right? So I'm going to take this, I'm going to add a little bit more paint. And the secret is liners. Use a liner. The liner brushes, and I use El Cheapo brushes. I live in a place that you can't get any expensive brushes. So I just use the cheap ones. And this I think is just from Hobby Lobby, whatever. Their brand, whatever that is. All right, 36 it is. All right, here we go. Don't even think about fucking up. I got a little too much caffeine in me today. Let's do it the old way, which means holding it. There we go. It's not difficult, but you got to get your wrist supported enough that it's not uncomfortable. No. Perfect. Main thing is get it in the right place. You can always fill it, fatten it up how you need it to be. That's the basic, kind of the gist of it. You have I'm serious. You do stuff that's like, man, everything's a challenge at work. It's like, it makes this stuff so much easier. And I don't worry about making these part of the same unit, because if you make them the same unit, like there's one that I did that was a T-34. I'm gonna show this to you. This is probably my biggest work of art, only because it looked almost impossible to do, and I kicked it out of the park. What is this T-34? And it's a crappy vehicle. I mean, it's the miniature is not very good. Here we go. It's like basically for Soviet Moldova. All that's hand painted. Take a picture of that. You just take it one letter at a time. Spacing. You know, I don't want to say it's easy to do. I have the skill set to pull it off, I guess. And the other side looks the same. But this particular unit, apparently the story behind this unit is it was a tank brigade. I don't know what that is. 21 tanks, 30, I don't know, several tanks, several dozen tanks. All have the exact same writing on the side of them. Like, that's ridiculous. That's like, why would I want to do that? You know, you're basically putting all your eggs in the basket of all your T-34. If you have this opportunity to make them look different, you're going to make them all look the same. Like, I'm not doing that. You know, so I got to mix them up with different things. And I really like doing American stuff. I like doing Soviets, because people have this idea that Americans and Soviets are boring. Well, they are if you make them boring. But if you give them personality, you know, if you give them interesting markings, you know, within reason, and you know, you put junk and stuff on them, you put a commander, you know, sticking out, you can give them personality. But yeah, the German tanks just paint themselves. I mean, they're the masters of, you know, of all that interesting stuff. But you know, the Germans do have to fight other people, you know, so. Back to work. Oh, well, you're almost there, man. It's the end of the week. Hopefully you don't. Hopefully you have a normal schedule and aren't working on weekends. All right, 3, 6. Yeah, different people have different tolerances for doing different things. I don't have a problem with stuff that takes a long time to do, as long as I'm not like halfway through it and all of a sudden something happens and it gets erased. Like things with technology like that, I don't do well with that kind of stuff. You know, put some sweat into it and then something happens, something is not configured right, and everything you've done all morning, you have nothing to show for it. I don't have a personality for that. Okay, there's 3, 6. There's 3, 6. All right, now I'm going to get. Let's look at that. Let's look at that drawing again. Let's look at that drawing again. And there's just so many things that are inspiring. Okay. So we've got this line that is going to go. I'm just going to kind of sketch the center of where it is. It's just going to go across the center here. And then this one's going to go right here. Okay, and underneath this line is where we're going to write that C ya bop. Okay, and on the back, there's a different vehicle that had the number on the back of it. I might just do a 36 on that. Man, maybe I won't. We'll see. And the same thing on this side. So now we're going to go see how wide we want that stripe to be. So we want to get a bigger brush. Same mentality. Let's get a bigger brush, but one that we don't have to build it up with a bunch of little steps. Okay, we can clean it up later, but I want to get most of it on there. This brush is okay. And it can be a little messy because these guys are just, they got issues when they paint these things. So when you're painting a straight line, it's almost always easier to pull towards yourself. So I'm going to orient this. And then you get a decent line. And it doesn't have to be perfect. The real one isn't perfect. And then we'll do the same thing over here, and then we'll work our way around to the other side. The only thing I gotta be careful is not to touch the 3/6 on the other side. Because if I do, I could scuff it up, and guess what? I create more work for myself. Okay. And why am I not painting it completely white already? Because I like doing gray to add a little bit of depth. It's also a way to make it look kind of dirty when it's not. Okay, so there's our 3/6. So let's go to the other side. Let's do the stripe on that side. And let's take our own advice. And the same thing over here. So that's a pretty good starting thickness. Okay? And the whole point is don't finish it up yet, but get everything positioned where you want it to be. I'm going to leave the stripe off the back on this one. Make it up a little bit. Doesn't look like it goes all the way across. So that's good. Okay, now we're going to write that C. You know what? Let's bring this up a little bit. Let me come in there and write that in a little bit. Let's bring this up a little bit more. Bring it up a little bit more is my speak for saying make it a little brighter. Remember, this isn't weathered. And although I don't go really heavy on the weathering, it does make a difference. Main thing when you're writing, if you're writing letters and stuff like that, you got to keep the flow going right. And you also don't expect to get it right on the very first pass. Set up steps in there so that you're creating guides, so you don't have this perfect numeral design, whatever, and you realize when you zoom out and you like step away from it, like, oh, I don't have it centered in the correct place. Do your outline. Like if you're going to write a paper, do an outline. Well, I'm a bad example of that. I never did outlines with paper, but this is fun, unlike writing papers. And this is one of these T-34 that has a fake hatch. In other words, this hatch is made of green stuff. Because when I got this, they didn't have any of the, I bought this used from somebody whose brother had passed away. And, they had bought all this stuff and unpackaged some of them, and, some of it got lost along the way. And I was able to recreate it with green stuff. Now, as much as I want to come in there and paint it like that, no, you pull it towards you. Okay, now we got the 36, we got the stripe. Everything is about center where it needs to be. I'll show you guys. So you can see, looks pretty good right now. I mean, it's not finished, but everything is centered about where it needs to be. So now we will write that see you bop. And if you're writing something like that, you don't want to run out of space. We've gotten this far. We're on the winning team. We're happy with how it's turning out. The last thing you want to do is get discouraged and not continue on and have a successful thing. So, how many letters does this thing have? 5. So the zeros in the middle, or the O's in the middle. So I'm going to go ahead and take a pen. I don't want to write on here because it distracts me. This will work fine. A little piece of cardboard. And it's O, P, O, B, and then a B, and there's a fancy Y that leans forward, and then a C. And this Y has a little curly Q at the end, and it has little legs like that. So that's what we want to do. Okay? Now if this times out or something like that, I'm not worried about it. Same process. And a lot of his attitude, like, yes, I can do this. I would normally use flow aid in the back. I'm not going to use flow aid. We're going to use this flow aidless. And I'm a lot more comfortable holding this. We're going to find the center of where this is going to be, and that's where we're going to put that 0, the O, because the O is what's in the middle. I'd prefer War Thunder. Oh shit, did I not put all the chat on here? Damn it, I never switched it to live chat. I want to like War Thunder, but I can't play it. I can't play War of Tanks either. War Thunder seems, it must be better on a computer. It's like putting with the Xbox controllers, like, okay, I want that thing down in the corner, and I bring it all the way down. It seems kind of clunky. But I do like it when you put a hit and it sees who gets taken out in it. But the only one of those games that I play even relatively regularly is the World of Warships, and it's totally hokey. But it keeps me from building ships. Oh. P. Another O. And then a B. on this side, we got a B. That fancy Y and a C. Maybe we take a photo. How about that? It's easy. You gotta just stick with it. Now we'll take green paint. We'll clean some of that up. I'm gonna get in really, really, really close. Let's clean that up a little bit. Okay. It's really pretty easy. Just take it one step at a time. The other thing that helps, if you're writing a bunch of letters, do the verticals so that you get the spacing of them correctly. And then you can come in and fill in the horizontals and stuff like that. But like when I was writing that big 32, however long that thing was, it's like a litany of things. You know, the important thing was the spacing. I didn't want to run out of space. So. And I did that live on one of these shows. Okay, same thing. Start with the 0. Start with the O in the middle. The only thing with online games is, I don't know, like 10 years ago, 8 years ago, whatever, I just got tired of listening to people. So I already turned on the microphone. I want to listen to people 4 foot tall with a 7 foot mouth. I'm not babysitting people that shouldn't be playing a mature game to begin with. Oh. P. Another O. B. My favorite thing was when I ended up doing something in Arabic, which I don't even remotely speak. I got the idea from somebody else, and he showed it to his Arabic friend and said he could read it. I'm like, yeah, that was a nice compliment. Here's the B. We got Y. Got one on there as well. Okay. Now this other has some other markings here at the top. This little circle, a circle within the circle looks like a little target. That's part of a tank core or something like that. And where is that one located? Oh, it's way back. Okay. With a dash and number 2. Okay, so the 2 is going to be really small. I don't know if I like that. How it looks. Let's try it. I don't want it that close to the 3.6. It's a 2. And a circle within the circle. We're definitely going to have to clean this up. There's no doubt about it. That's not a bad circle. Now the one in the middle is a tricky one. You know, it's times like this that I realize I get really held down by my day job. But it pays the bills. See, I do this because it's empowering. I mean, I can do it, so I should do it. All right, same thing except we got to do them backwards. That looks even better. Maybe I can manage to fuck up the 2. How about that? Nope. I gotta take a picture of this. It's not complete, but we got everything in the right place. That's the goal here. And yeah, we're gonna meet up the 3 and the 6 more. And these are all hand painted, so shit, it's probably neater than that Russian dude painted it. Okay. Now let's fill these numbers in. Or start commencing to do that. Wow. And the flow is just right where it needs to be. I want this a little thicker. Let's go to the other side. I find it's really helpful to flip from side to side so you don't have one get too far carried away. Oh, tripped over my finger. Got it in the way. We'll have one little spot we got to clean there for sure. Let's go ahead and add more color to it, add more white to it. Same thing over here. This and pull it towards us. See, that one went out a little bit. I can clean that up. It's always going to be one side that's going to be easier to get to than the other. Let's go ahead and do the lettering here. Brighten it up a little bit. Make sure it's not too runny. Too. This brush is really amazing though. And it's a cheap ass little brush. Hey, what's up, the Cardinal? Let's go to this side. You know, the thing is, even if they made decals you wanted to, it would cost you a fortune. I want this decal from this place, this one from this place. You would just be paying out the nose shipping. Forget the cost of the decals. Just the shipping would eat you alive. Well rested today, a little bit better, but I started early. Yeah, I just couldn't stay awake yesterday. So let's see how we did. This is a rough turret. How'd we do? Can I quit my day job yet? Now that's without cleaning it up. That's what we're going to do now. We're going to grab a little bit of this green. And I'm going to add a little bit of black to it. I want it to be a little bit darker than this green that's on here. Just seems to work better. Just a little bit. It might be a little too dark. Did you paint the numbers? Yep. We did it all. The numbers are the easy. Actually, it's not that difficult. You just gotta, you gotta believe in yourself. You gotta take it slow, and you need a brush that'll cooperate. I can't do it with every brush. Can't do it with every brush. It's like this side needs a little bit less correction than the other one. Okay. You shop. I think you're putting me to sleep. I'll go use the little boy's room. I'll be right back. Well, the good news is it's going to be, I think, a worthy enough vehicle for a tank commander. Those district miniature decals I got will be put on some Panzers. Problem is, I'll have to paint some of the numbers. They can make it work though, despite the small scale. Oh, was there something wrong with them? Was it individual decals or was it one big decal sheet where you had to cut out? I couldn't tell from that. But man, they got some good variety. Sounds like they shipped them quick to you. Did they give you a discount because they watch my channel? I don't have that kind of pull. I don't want to have that kind of pull. That's just not my thing. Have to paint some of the numbers. What happened? Okay. So, what are we doing next? Let's paint the road wheels. Paint the road wheels and the tracks. The road wheels, I like using black because we end up weathering it anyways. I think we've got another. Keep me engaged. I want to finish this. I don't come on here to not get stuff done. That way we can paint this little goofy ass looking commander. I think I got a goofy ass looking commander. Goofy ass looking commander. Does he fit in the turret okay? Let's see. Let's pop his. It's coming to pop off. Yeah, pop him off. He's fucking great. Oh, this guy's great. Oh yeah. Yeah, you can't make the Germans all exciting and everybody else that they fight like boring. It doesn't work that way. You know? Oh, it works better when I put them on a pen. There we go. Yep. I couldn't remember if I test that or not. I got some individual numbers, but there are no 5s on the decal sheet. That your favorite? 5 is my favorite number. Decals already have to go up to 6. So there's a bit of work to be done on. I think it took 3 or 4 days to arrive. Pretty good time. Is it? Are they individual decals or is it like one sheet that you have to cut out? Like in other words, if you put the whole thing in water, would you be able to peel everything on there? I haven't ordered from them. I've ordered from Alaran, and Alaran are not individual decals, unfortunately, but they're thin, unlike Petting House, which, if you haven't heard me mention, don't ever buy Petting House decals. It's a shame. I wish they were great, but they're trash. At least the ones I got were trash. Well, their price seems to be right. You know, $5 for a set, that's pretty good. Can't really expect better than that. Pretty reasonable. Let's get some water on here. The water behaved great. And it's dirty water, a little bit. Haven't put them on yet. Maybe tonight if I work fast, but I think these are individual. Okay. Well, you don't have to work fast. You don't. I'm not rushing you, dude. No, I won't be on here tomorrow. We've got a couple stuff to do. No, we got people coming over. I got to turn that around. And Saturday morning I won't be on here. I got to go to a car show in Daytona. And I don't mean a race. I mean a car show. Got to go to Subi Fest. So, but we should be back on Sunday. Continuing doing T-34s. I want to knock these out. I'm getting split too thin, and I want to do these guys. So. Before I get too carried away. Now the problem isn't that I can't jump around. It's like if I have these vehicles that are half finished, I need to find a place to put them where they're not going to get damaged. You know, I can't put them in the display case because they're not done. You know, so I'm creating like babysitting issues for myself, you know? It's not that I can't come back to it or anything like that, so. As much as I want to play, as much as I want to paint that jungle outpost and some Japanese, just because I've never painted Japanese before, never painted Japanese troops. I have painted a Japanese tank. I got a couple of other Japanese vehicles to do, but if the 3D printing thing goes as well as I expect it to, I may not work on any more junk vehicles. Any vehicles that are just like substandard, I may not paint them up. Because at the end of the day, it's going to take me 4 or 5 hours, and it's a shame that some of this stuff just doesn't look as good as it could, and there's just nothing I can do about it. I'm sure that car show will be fun. I haven't been to a car show in a while. However, the old-fashioned hot rods are your favorite for sure. Yeah, I like rice burners. And I have one, so, you know. It's okay. It's the problem with car shows is most of the people are, it's like gun shows. Half the people there are just dicks, you know. I want to be social. Like, I want to, you know, but some people just have chips on their shoulder. I mean, I'm not exhibiting or anything. I just want to go and I want to get a roof. I want to get a roof rack or see what's out there. It's nothing better than just going and seeing what somebody has and ask questions. So. And a lot of those things, it's like, you know, a lot of people have a hard time saying something nice about something else that somebody else has. Like, it makes them less of a man or something. Like, I mean, I get it. If the guy's an asshole, fuck him. But, you know, don't assume that the guy's a dickhead right off the bat, you know? They used to have a monthly one here in town where you'd go and, you know, it was the same thing. It was you'd have people just aren't being friendly. So why go to a show where you're supposed to? It's a social event, and you're not. And most of the people don't want to be social. So I don't know. Okay, that's done. I remember when I thought this was tedious. No, tedious is painting 32 Roman sandals in a row. That's tedious. People are strange. No, people are just unfriendly, you know? They're just like dickheads. Don't get me wrong, I can be a dick, but I'm just, you know, I'm not going to automatically be a dick to somebody that's trying to be nice to me. And if you make my wife be mad at you, there's something wrong with you, because she's super nice. I'm the asshole. Oh, man. We used to go. Gosh, it's been almost 10 years. Wow, it's hard to believe it's been that long, but yeah, I guess it's been almost 10 years. Mitch and I used to go on Sundays and go shooting at the local range, and we'd help them set up so we'd get in for free. I mean, you still got to buy your own ammo, just pistols, and they'd get 15, 20 people to do their. It's a competitive type thing, although, you know. I just competed against myself because I didn't care how many. There's some people that have been doing those kind of things, and they just got skill sets that you don't have. It'd be like if you're looking at, oh man, this guy's painting all kinds of numbers. Well, I can do this. It'd be like somebody somebody else is like using crayons kind of thing. But there's all kinds of skill levels there. Basically, everybody better than me. But I just wanted to improve how I did last time. But half of those 15, 20 people, angry all the time. Like if they don't do it perfect, they're angry and like throwing stuff and like if your hobby is creating that kind of kicking the dirt, kicking rocks, like if you're that upset about something that generates you no money, you're not doing it for a job or anything, you need to find another hobby, man. Hobbies should bring you joy, not turmoil. Do whatever you want. I don't like doing things that bring turmoil for free. I don't like doing things that bring turmoil when I'm getting paid. I'm certainly not going to volunteer to do them. And if it happens once, I'm like, okay, well, I don't need to do that anymore. Just like there's people that I hear that drink and get angry. I'm like, I'm not one of those. I couldn't be happier. Okay, so we've got all the road wheels. Is there anything else that's black? The machine gun, which has kind of an armored cover. It's kind of an unattractive machine gun. The cover of it is, anyways. The cover is unattractive. The rest of it is just tracks. Okay? So let's rinse this out. Get the SS Camo Black, or whatever the hell it's called now. That's what it used to be called. German Camouflage Black Brown. It's one of the SS Camo Smock P-Dot pattern browns. I think it's a little bit long-winded. That's why I don't call it that. Among other reasons. I grew up in a town that college sports are like huge, and so my tolerance for people that have poor sportsmanship is like nil. People that yell at the TV. My wife was telling me, I said she wouldn't be able to put up with me if I was a sports person. Like, well, we can't do anything because the NFL game's on or whatever. I'm like, yeah, no. I don't watch anything live. Of all the colors, I should get more gray and black. I just don't have a lot of variety with that, surprisingly. Well, the only reason I have a million colors, and I don't have a million colors, but I have hundreds, is because I sold some of my hobby stuff and just decided, well, I'm going to put it back in the hobby by getting these paints. Otherwise, I never would have this many. And then just play and kind of keep up. You know, but I had all the Vallejo colors, and then they created even more of them, and it's like a mess. But I still mix everything. It's just kind of like a starting point for me to go up and down on the shade range. I've just always done it that way. It works for me. I don't expect anybody else to do it the same way I do. I don't want them to. Paint your own way. Don't be a copycat. All the grays aren't that useful though. They aren't. I mean, once you got like the base color for the tank, you know, the browns are the ones that are really useful. The greens aren't that useful either. It's the browns that are really useful. There's colors I've never used before, and a lot of them are greens and grays. Because when I was selling my stuff, I found out about Vallejo, and Vallejo was like, "Oh, these got eyedroppers. That's like really handy." Because I'm generally using very little amount of paint, and yeah, I figured this is an opportunity for it not to really cost me anything. And then I've gotten some of the AK paints, whatever, to airbrush with. These are AK paints. AK, MIG, whatever the hell they are. AK, MIG ammo. I made the mistake of looking online, what the hell, which is which, and man, I didn't realize there was all this. This guy ripped me off for that. I'm like, there's so much drama behind that. I'm like, I'm not picking sides or anything. I didn't know. I don't know. I don't know any of those players. I'm going to do the tracks at the end last. We did that side, so let's do the top here in case any of this happens to show. And I like this color for, you know, old rust. I don't go for the whole orange this, orange that. This is rust that's mixed with dirt. It works for me. Decent amount of green, but don't need them all. Sets for smaller details, maybe. Yeah, I got a whole bunch of them I haven't used. We will. Especially if we're going to go to the Pacific. Or do some stuff in the Pacific. It's not like we're only going to do Pacific stuff. I just want to paint some Japanese guys. Why not? But I don't like the AK paints, MIG ammo paints for brushing. They're way too watery, but they're great for airbrushing. And I don't like the Vallejo for airbrushing because I have to thin them. And I don't want to thin paint. Not in an airbrush. I mean, I thin it in here all the time. It's a hassle. Okay, now and then we're probably going to have to stop because this has got to be very dry before I dry brush, and then we'll do the black lining after that. But that big lettering project I had on that tank with all the writing on it, I did that live. I don't mind doing stuff live, showing you guys how to do stuff. Just don't, I just don't have the stomach to create some video that's like in professional level. Like I don't want to do all that. It's a pain. And then you don't even know if somebody's going to even watch it. So I do stuff for myself. And if somebody else wants to benefit from it, and if it helps them out, that's awesome. But I don't want to do things with the intention of like specifically, other people are going to watch it, because then the next thing you know is I don't get the audience that I feel like it merits, and I get discouraged. If you go and you make something like, I'm going to do this because we're going to get at least 10 people watching it, and you only get 3, it's like, well, why don't you even bother doing it if you're doing it for other people? But if you're doing it for yourself, it doesn't really matter who the hell's watching it. You should do what you do, and if people like your content, they'll come back for more. And if not, well, then, it is what it is. Don't let the door hit you in the ass. There's some pieces, parts of track back here. Only time I get tattoo is making muddy tracks, but then it's pretty easy to do. Paint rather than complicate the process. Yeah, be consistent. Making muddy tracks. I might try some mud on that martyr, because the martyr has some kind of snow camo. I'm not done with it yet, but got that painted, and we got a dry brush, we got a weather before we do anything else. And I can't weather with those tracks wet, so this is where we're going to wrap up for tonight. Anyways, thanks for stopping by, folks.